So, great. So the recording has started because we always record our sessions, but I'll get to that in a minute. Continuing with the agenda, we plan to have some networking today as well. Even if it's a virtual event, we still want this to be a networking event. At the end, you will have a quiz. So please pay attention because the questions of the quiz will be based on our discussion tonight. And if you get a question right, you will win a prize. And then we'll close. It may seem like a lot, but 2 hours pass very fast. And I hope that you are as excited as I am for the next couple of hours. Let me start with the ground rules. We are on a Zoom meeting. It can happen that we hear some noise in the background. So please mute your mic when you are not speaking to the audience here. That will really help us keep things in order. Also, if you have a contribution, you can raise your hand or use the chat. Next, we encourage you to introduce yourself whenever you speak so that we can get to know you. You never know. This is a networking event, right? And next, the session is being recorded. As I mentioned earlier, we always record these events to give people the chance to come back and revisit the content. If you are not comfortable with being recorded, unfortunately, you will have to drop out of the event. But we hope that you're comfortable enough to stay with us. The next thing is we will be taking photos throughout the event, screenshots, and we do this to be able to communicate on the event afterwards. If you're uncomfortable with having your photo taken, just let us know. You can write to me or write to William, and we'll make sure that in our subsequent communications, your information is taken out. All right, next, we want you to be kind and open. Don't be too hard on the speaker or on each other because we are all here to learn together. And most importantly, please participate and enjoy. Your input is always going to be valued here. And we want this to be an atmosphere where you learn while enjoying yourself. So please enjoy. I would start by introducing IIBA, which is the organizer of this event. The International Institute of Business Analysis has a vision to shape the practice of business analysis to achieve better enterprise outcomes, and a mission to lead the global business analysis community and professional standards so every person can achieve more. In summary, the IIBA helps organizations to better do their work. IIBA is a global entity that exists in over 40 countries worldwide and in hundreds of chapters. Cameroon is one of them. And we have over 30,000 members around the world. We function with 1,500 volunteers who keep the organization running, and we have over 500 partners. The IBA is best known for the standard, providing the standard for business analysis called the BABO, the Business Analysis Body of Knowledge. And this is also the basis on which the IIBA certifications are done. And one of the most recognized business analysis certification, the CBAP, is offered by the IIBA. So as you can see here, the IIBA offers a number of certifications. So pick and choose depending on your context. Well, we're talking about the IIBA, the Institute of Business Analysis. So we would like to have the same understanding of what business analysis means for the IIBA. So business analysis is the approach that enables change in a company or organization by defining the needs and recommending solutions that bring value to stakeholders, taking into account their context. It seems like a mouthful, but in simpler words, business analysis helps
वो उस पे पड़ी हुई है, वो
organizations
थोड़ी मतलब वैसी हो गई है,
define clearly where
चिपक
they
गई है।
are, identify where they want to be, and bridge the gap between where they are and where they want to be. I would like to remind you all to please mute your mic if you are not contributing so that we can avoid the background noise. Thank you. Let me move forward. We know what business analysis is. Who is a business analyst then? Business analyst is anyone who performs business analysis tasks according to the BABOK guide. You do not need to have the title business analyst to be a business analyst. In reality, you find people practicing business analysis in a wide variety of domains. It could be in the IT space, it could be in the finance space, it could be in any other industry or specific area of service. So you have people with the title Chief Security Officer who practice business analysis. You have people who are Chief Data Architects or Systems Analysts, people in procurement, human resource managers. All of these people could be practicing business analysis. Maybe you are one of those people who practices business analysis and you just don't know it yet. But we hope that we can enlighten you on what this profession is all about. The IIBA is very present in Africa. Cameroon is one of the chapters in Africa, and we have many other brother or sister chapters across Africa. So when you're in the Cameroon community, you're also part of the broader African community. And that means you can collaborate or exchange with professionals from across Africa, which is quite interesting. Now, let's come back home to the IBA Cameroon chapter. We are quite young. We actually exist since 2021, so barely 3 years, and we consider ourselves the defender of business analysts in Cameroon. So we have for mission and for goals, not only to represent the global IB in Cameroon, but also to provide a framework for exchanges of information between Cameroonian professionals, to promote business analysis practices, and to professionalize business analysis activities in Cameroon. We also pride ourselves in helping professionals grow their skills, and that's why we help prepare them for certifications, as you will see further on. But you can reach us through our email, our website, our LinkedIn, and our Facebook, and we have a physical presence in Douala, and the address is here on the slide. I'm going to beg William to please put that information also in the chat so that if anyone wants to get in touch, you can. A little bit more about IBA Cameroon. We have 66 members currently. So we are young, but we are growing. And the membership is only 40,000 francs a month, a year. We also have certified members. And here I've listed the different certifications that our members hold. But the majority of the certifications are CBAP, which is, I mentioned, the most recognized business analysis certification. We have people who are in the pipe, who are getting ready to write the CBAP exam. And we hope that you would be interested enough to be the next one who is certified. IBA Cameroon performs a lot of different activities. We do trainings, professional exchanges like this one we're having right now, activities that promote business analysis and help people understand what business analysis is, study groups that help people prepare for certifications. webinars for information sharing, and we also form very strategic partnerships, one of them being the GCAM, the one with the GCAM in Cameroon. So I would like to tell you about some of the upcoming events. The next one being the recognition of the business analyst of the month, which we do every month so that you can recognize and highlight a collaborator or a friend who you know is doing excellent work as a business analyst. So please don't hesitate to give them that recognition, and IBA will give them the recognition they deserve. The next one I want to highlight is the study groups that are upcoming, sorry. We have study groups in English and in French, in person and online. In the month of February, we'll be launching our French study group online and in person. All of this information is available on LinkedIn, so if you're interested, you'll find it there. Same for our English study group. The only difference being that we don't yet have an in-person English study group, but the online study group will start in February too. And in terms of after-work events like what we have now, we'll have the next one in person in Douala on the topic related to cybersecurity. If you are in Douala, I strongly recommend that you come and take part in this. It's always an amazing event. Now, we have so many events, but we definitely do share enough information on these events. So please follow us on LinkedIn so that you can have that information. And you'll see everything that you need there, including how you can register and join the events. Okay, that's enough about IBA and IBA Cameroon. We just wanted you to know who it is behind this event. But what is more interesting for us today is that we can address this topic of business analysis skills in the finance space with our guest, Patrick Mayoh. So let me stop sharing. Oops, I gave you a sneak view of the quiz. Let me stop sharing now. And let us start the really juicy part of this event with Patrick. So hello, Patrick.
Hi, Florence. Hi, everyone. It's really a privilege to be here. This is the thing. Like, I mean, I've seen so many events about IIBA, and I'm so honored to be the first guest to kick off 2025. It's definitely going to be an exciting year for IIBA.
Yes, and we're really happy to have you as our first guest of the year. So I will not introduce you, Patrick. I'll let you introduce yourself. So tell us who you are, Mr. Patrick Mayoh.
Yeah, so definitely it's true the topic tonight is about finance, but I'm from a non-finance background. My major was actually journalism and mass communication. So when I think of it, I should be the one today commenting on football matches, for Cameroon or presenting the newscast on TRTV, which is what many of my, I think, classmates are doing at the moment. But my story is basically born about transitioning from communication to business, then to finance. So today I work in treasury in EcoBank Cameroon as the head of treasury sales, which, okay, 5 or 6 years ago, I wouldn't see myself doing this, but I somehow picked up an interest in finance, did a couple of certifications, did a couple of interviews, and then happened to get this job I'm having now. And it's quite exciting. So the big plan, hopefully, is uh, to move from being a professional to maybe becoming an expert, an authority when it comes to finance. And I see technology and business analysts, I mean, you guys playing a key role in how finance is going to shape the world and Africa, especially in the next couple of years.
Oh, thank you so much, Patrick. Do you have any interesting projects coming up or any specific targets that you want to share with us
2025.
and beyond?
No, beyond, it's really about going to be me sharpening these financial analysis skills I've been sharpening over the last couple of years, maybe adding a couple more certifications. But then the goal, I mean, as you well know, as a business analyst, is not just to be certified, but it's actually to be out there doing the job, because that only serves to reinforce what you already know. So I'm trying to get as much experience as I can in this field, but hopefully in the next couple of years, I hope to become a key player when it comes to the financial markets. I don't know, in Cameroon, in Africa, beyond, who knows?
Okay, and we can definitely see that happening. All right, so Patrick, you've gone from communication to banking with a background in journalism, and now you're at the head treasury sales at EcoBank. So can you tell us a bit more what your job looks like? What do you do in that role?
What do I do? I mean, it's a lot of things basically, but uh, when it comes to treasury is one of those areas in the bank that looks a bit mysterious, a bit cryptic, because people don't exactly know what treasury do. I mean, we tend to say we move money, which is exactly that. It's really about moving money, but it kind of affects every aspect of what's going on. So if I think about the headphones you're wearing, or the headphones William has, or any headphones, of course, if you're in Cameroon, we don't make headphones in Cameroon. So you have to buy these headphones maybe from a seller in Douala, but he had to import the headphones. And for him to import the headphones, maybe he needed to have some FX, euros or USD. So my team is going to be the one facilitating the transfer of currencies, literally between ZAF, CFA, and USD, Euro, UK pounds, and all the key currencies in the world. So those kind of transactions basically make the market. So the FX market is the largest market in the capital markets world, because many transactions uh, necessitate the use of FX, foreign currencies. So this goes from the clothes you're wearing, to the roads that are being built, to the new bridges that come across the country. So all of these need people to import, to export, and we facilitate that movement of money, money going from ZAF to a world currency, or a world currency going from a UK pound to a ZAF. So those are like big transactions, major deals involving public institutions, very small companies, large corporates, individuals. That's part of it. And then another part of it is also the capital markets in Cameroon. So when investors want to invest in the debt of Cameroon, or the debt of Gabon, or the debt of any Central African states, they come to us, they come to my team, because they want to buy up the debts of this country, and then we help facilitate that. And this also involves like a lot of transactions. So for the state of Cameroon to organize AFCON, they needed to borrow a lot of money, and they would come to us banks to go to the market to get people to give them some money, and then we facilitate that as well. So it's really about moving money, but you're doing that on a global scale, but also on a very local scale. And I have a team of treasury sales analyst, treasury sales officer, and the goal is really to make the market move. So a lot of things you see actually are enabled by FX transactions and uh, borrowing from the government.
Okay, wow. That sounds really interesting. You deal
It
with
is
money both
interesting.
on
Not
the
not not not
local.
not like these are very different. So we have a lot of different days.
So you deal with money moving on a local and international scale. Okay. Now, that brings me to ask the question, in the world of treasury, with all that you have explained, from my understanding, is really only one of the aspects of the world of finance. And you came from a journalism background. and you worked your way into such deep knowledge of the finance world. So could you explain to us in simple terms what finance as a whole is all about? What are some of those key terms that we should understand when it comes to finance?
So simply put, finance is really all about moving money. So it's all about money coming in, money going out for a reason. So if I had to put it to my, I don't know, 4 years old at home, it would be this. Like people are moving money in and some people are moving money out. Of course, now there are going to be different dimensions to it. So one dimension is corporate finance. This is companies trying to provide something of value to the market. So they sell something, but for them to sell whatever they are selling, they need to incur some costs. So it costs something to make something that you have to sell at the end of the day. And the end goal is for any entity to have a net profit, because when you have a net profit, which is basically anything left after you've incurred all expenses, then you can increase your shareholders' equity. This is money left for investors in the business to do whatever they want with it. So sometimes they pay themselves, sometimes they put the money back into the business, sometimes they keep the money. It's all about shareholders' equity, how you manage that. But the key driver is actually you making more than what you spend, and then you have that money left to do whatever you want or to build up your business. So that's one part of it. Another key part of it is actually the market. So those companies that are making stuff sometimes need to grow, sometimes need to invest, and therefore they have to go to the market. So the market is basically people that are willing to lend money for one reason or another. Maybe they're trying to save for the future. They don't need the money right now. And therefore, some people who need the money right now are going to go to those people, and those people are going to be able to borrow the money so they can finance capital projects, or they can finance short-term expenditures. And now when you go to that dimension of finance, it's basically the capital markets. So the capital markets is the space where people that have money and people that are looking for money then have to meet and agree on a price. This is why you hear about interest rates going up or going down, because when a lot of people need money, then interest rates kind of go up. And when not so many people need money, interest rates kind of go down. So they meet in the capital markets. And then all of this is really about the movement of money. Money comes in because I'm making something of value. Money goes out because maybe I need to incur a cost to make whatever I have to propose to the public. Sometimes I have to go to the market to borrow money for one reason or another, and then there are people willing to lend money to me. And sometimes all of a sudden I need to move money not only within my economy, but maybe to other country. Then the FX aspect I spoke about, which is part of my daily job, also comes into play. But if you think of it, the big picture, when you look at it, is it's just money moving, either coming in or going out. And in finance or as a financial analyst, your goal is to understand, why is that money moving in? Why is it going out? Why is it going? What are going to be the implications for the company, for a sector, for the economy of your country, or even the world economy? So that's the whole idea of it. It's a mouthful, but yes, hopefully we get to the nitty-gritty.
I definitely retain that finance is all about the movement of money. Okay, thank you for that explanation, Patrick. I'm sure if anybody wants to get more understanding on that, they will reach out to you or drop their questions in the chat. Okay, so we're here to talk about business analysis skills in the finance space. So I want to ask you about business analysis. What has been your experience with business analysis? Have you worked with business analysis professionals? Have you used business analysis skills? Can you tell us more?
Yeah, so for my time in MTN, because in MTN Cameroon, I think in my second year, I was part of a task force that was like literally the strategy team reporting to the CFO. So we had to oversee a lot of new commercial initiatives. I was actually the commercial lead back then. And yeah, this involved a lot of work with business analysts. So in MTN, they used to act as the bridge between the technology team and then the business team, which was usually the marketing department. And so my experience of working with business analysts was really about working with them to try to understand what technology was doing in terms of really understanding the requirements and the specifications, and then also going to the business side to make sure we were delivering the kind of product initiative that was needed, that they had requested, and that was about to be launched in the market. So that involved, yes, working with business analysts, but also sometimes working as a business analyst, because you had to explain to the CODI, the executive committee, what was going on, where this initiative or this project was going, what was the blocking points, why was it not launched yet? So it was a lot of diplomacy. So I tend to think business analysts, one of the key skills, you really have to work on your diplomacy and your communication skills, because you always have to be like that person in the middle that needs to take all the blows, but that's because you're trying to make things move. So it's a noble thing to do. It's amazing. So I really commend business analysts for that. So my experience is basically that.
Thank you. Do you think that in your current role at EcoBank, you collaborate with business analysts or people who use business analysis skills?
Yeah, a lot. Because in many instances, as a treasury sales, I'm kind of front and back office at the same time. So back office means sometimes to understand why a transaction or a deal is not materialized, you have to maybe check from a technology perspective what's going on, work with the business analyst to make this faster. And then, like, when you wear your business side hat, then it's all about making sure that transaction goes through, maybe speaking to a customer, then shuffling back between the customer and the back office team, the business analyst, to understand what exactly has to be done to make sure that deal gets done, that deal gets through. So it's a lot of what happens on a daily basis,
Okay.
because sometimes when you're trying to conclude a major deal, yeah, technology can, play a part in you not actually succeeding in concluding that deal, or maybe a requirement that was supposed to be put in place might be the reason why that deal doesn't get made. So you have to wear your business analysis hat or work with the business analyst to make sure it gets done. Otherwise, you lose the deal and then you lose the transaction. And that money goes elsewhere. It's all about money moving. So that money was coming to you, and then all of a sudden it's going to someone else, and you're not happy about that, because you'd rather have the money coming to you than going to someone else.
Yes, and that's a good segue into my next question, which is regarding business analysis skills in the finance space more generally. So be it in finance-related roles or in finance organizations or in finance teams. So where do you see these skills being absolutely crucial or impactful in these finance areas?
So in the finance area, so I think we were speaking just right before the meeting to see the direction of finance or the capital markets. So what you see is technology playing a key part in shaping what we do today in finance, or what we even know about finance. So if you think of it, a lot of changes driven by AI, technology advancements, are going to require business analysts to make sure those new projects, those new initiatives gets done. So if you think of it today, you have a lot of robo advisors when it comes to finance. So the logic of robo advisors is that in the future, not as today, you won't have to go to a branch to speak to someone. So when it comes to your financial planning, you will not need to go and meet someone physical to speak to them about what you need to do with your finance. Today, and it's happening already, you're going to speak to a robot who is going to advise you on what you need to do with this money you have at the moment, and is going to suggest options on what you can do with the money. And actually, physical people are going to be needed for critical transactions. So with regards to that, of course, when it comes to implementing those new requirements, those new technologies, business analysts are going to be the guys. They're going to be the key people to make sure this actually happens. I also spoke about the fact that banking, especially retail banking, will become a branchless business. So of course, not all the branches are going to disappear, but the cost to maintain, to open new branches is not going to be worth it. So many companies, many banking institutions are going to speed up initiatives around making sure their mobile app works properly so people don't have to come to branches. And when that happens, for those changes to be implemented, business analysts are going to be needed because remember, bankers are not technology specialists. Bankers are not change specialists. Bankers don't speak about requirements, about specifications. We speak about making money, but we need the engines or the enablers that make this much easier. And when that happens, of course, business analysts are going to be the key drivers behind those changes. And of course, that means truly understanding how the finance world works and having a bit of knowledge about finance and what finance is all about. That's going to be key. So my thinking is that business analysts that know a bit about finance are going to perform much better than business analysts that don't know at all about finance.
Oh, that's really fascinating. I can just imagine that kind of a future. But I heard you speak a lot about technology being a driver of change in the finance space. So what about business analysts who are not technology experts? Do you think they'll have their place?
To be honest, actually, yes, technology is going to play a key part in how the finance world or how the finance space is going to be disrupted. But that doesn't necessarily mean business analysts have to be technologists, of course. It's just about being that bridge between one part of the change and another part of the change. So and in many organizations, you have a technology team that are usually at the back end, that are separate from front office teams that are more business oriented. So people that are able to be in the middle and that are able to understand how to segue between those two parts of the organizations are going to be the champions. They're going to be the people that everyone wants in their organizations. So it's not just a technology perspective. So of course, when technology comes into play, maybe the regulatory aspects of how you do your banking also changes. Maybe the compliance aspects, maybe even the processes you need to put in place to serve your customers have to change. And when it comes to that, even business analysts are going to be key to make sure the bridge between regulatory team and the business are well in place to make sure this works, this is properly implemented, and this actually works for businesses.
Okay, I think that's quite reassuring. There really is a place for everyone, and business analysis, not being a technology discipline, will be instrumental, even in that future that's coming. Okay, now I want to ask you, because we said earlier that a business analyst is anyone who performs business analysis tasks, and they may not have that title. So, from your understanding, what are some of the roles, like typically finance roles, that could make use of business analysis skills?
Oh, I think all of them, all of them. So as a business analyst, you're in a good place when it comes to maybe implementing initiatives, either in the finance department or even in the finance world. So when you look at finance functions, so be it accounting, be it treasury, be it financial planning and analysis, having the skills to analyze, having the skills to like pertaining to problem solving, like those are golden skills when it comes to finance in a sense. So the transition is actually easy when you come from a business analysis background into finance, because then all what you need to learn, because what I've learned over the years, like studying finance, is that finance, beyond being all about mathematics, because that's what people are mostly scared of. But it's there's a lot of maths, but it's really about a set of principles that are given, that are applied, that are recognized all over the world. So to become a finance, to get into finance, you just have to understand how those principles work and what those principles mean. And as soon as you understand things from the perspective of it's a principle, not a formula in mathematics, then everything begins to make sense. So, and then as a business analyst, you're already well versed in principles. So, transitioning to finance will be should not like it's not going to be the easiest thing, but it should be one of the easiest thing to do.
Okay. If I understand
So
well,
you're free to join me actually.
and you did that, right? You came from a completely non-finance background, and here you are a finance professional, which means that I, as a business analyst, can also become an accountant and can become a financial analyst as well, finance
It's not too late.
manager,
It's
treasurer.
not too late. Good thing to do is it's not too late.
Okay, because the key skills that are needed, analysis, problem solving, and even quickly gaining understanding of context and processes, mediating, facilitating communication between stakeholders. Those are the things that are needed in a finance space. Well, thank you so much for that, Patrick. That will lead me to my next and maybe last question, where I'm asking you what you will recommend as two business analysts for them to be successful in the finance space.
Yeah, so business analyst, and then not just in the finance space, but overall, because you're the bridge between one part of the organizations and other part of the organization, you need to understand what a business is all about. And a business is all about making a margin, making a net margin, so that you can increase, I don't know, shareholders' equity. And you want to analyze all your projects, all your initiatives, always from the perspective of, is it going to increase the net margin? Is it going to increase the net return of shareholders? And once things are seen from that perspective, then it's going to be much easier for your projects or your initiatives to be approved, because people realize you understand what the business stands for. So I recommend always trying to study the basics. So it's not about becoming an expert in finance, but maybe trying to understand how the financial statement work. You have a lot of YouTube videos and training.
Hello, Patrick.
Pre-training is much. Can you hear me?
Yes, now we had a bit of a glitch with the network,
Sorry
but
about that.
yes.
So yeah,
Mhm.
so for me, it's all about understanding that bridge, and once you get that basic understanding, it's much easier then to influence or shape decisions in the organization. So you're a diplomat, but because you're a diplomat, you understand what is at stake, and you're able to be that key bridge between various parts of the organization. So for me, that's a key piece of advice. So don't become an expert, but kind of learn the basics, so that when you have to meet the CFO, because you've discussed with all the teams and now you have to get the budget for your project, that you're able to tell him, oh, this is going to save costs for this reason, for that reason. So that's the idea.
Okay. I think that you've mentioned something quite interesting. a key stakeholder, the CFO. So, in your opinion, as a business analyst, what are the words that a CFO would like to hear when you're talking to them to make sure that you have them on board?
CFO, they love cost cutting words. Those are very nice words to hear. So any cost cutting words, sounds like music to them. Any words about improving shareholders' equity, it's music. Any words about improving revenue. So those are the tricky things. So if you can speak about, increasing revenue, cutting costs, or improving shareholders' equity, you're definitely going to have dinner all the time with them because they're going to enjoy having conversations with you, because then you speak like CFOs is a very lonely job, like in any organization, because people don't get a sense of what you're trying to do, and they always believe you're out there to make sure nothing works, nothing moves. But really, they have the pressure to make sure that costs are down, revenues are up, and then eventually shareholders' equity is up. So if those three words, you understand what those three words are all about, and then you speak those words to a CEO, yes, you're going to be their best friends.
Okay, thank you very much, Patrick. And I did hear your recommendations for business analysts to be successful. Understand the basics of finance, the basic language of finance, even if it's just understanding what statements mean, how to read a statement. And when you're talking to finance stakeholders like the CFO, you need to speak their magic words: cost optimization, revenue increase, and
Yeah.
shareholder satisfaction.
This
Thank
is
you for
boring
all
to
these
you, but to them
recommendations.
it's like it's like the best song that came out that year, and then they're like, yeah, I love that song.
Thank you so much. I have asked all my questions, but I know that the people in the audience who would have questions for you, or maybe they also have a take on this topic and they want to share. So thank you, Patrick. I'm handing over to the people, the voice of the people, so that they
My
can
pleasure,
ask you the
Florence. Thank
question.
you. Thank you. This has been good, amazing.
So to everyone in the audience, if you have a question for Patrick, please go ahead and raise your hand or write it in the chat. But of course, we prefer to hear your voice. So please go ahead. Cyril says CFOs are qualified people who are working to share less the benefits with employees. Oh my.
I've seen this a lot, and you'll not be wrong in thinking that, but that's important to see. Like, you want to look at the big picture. So actually, it's not like this is their money, but you want to understand that maybe the big picture is all about making sure the company stay afloat, thinking 2, 3, 4, 5 years ahead. That this initiative that looks nice right now, maybe later down the line is going to cost more money, and maybe we might have to close the company. So this is how, I mean, they can look very depressing when you discuss with them, but it's only because they're thinking 2 to 3, 5 years ahead of you. And I know, like, coming from a marketing background as well, because I did a bit of marketing in MTN, where you have like tons of initiatives you have to launch uh, in a quarter. Actually, I was going to say in a year, but in a quarter, there are tons of initiatives to launch. You are always thinking, okay, those initiatives, they all have to be launched now, but you don't realize maybe the amount of capex that might be involved, the amount of opex that might be involved, and that maybe you're trying to shoot the business, to shoot the budget, or to blow up the budget. And on one hand, you're going to be like, okay, this has to be done now, but the CFO understands, okay, this is not possible, and it's going to look mean, but he has a point.
Okay, and also coming from Cyril, a question: how can a manager who is a BA and who carries innovation what can they do to be the best friend of the CFO and financiers, to see their vision and propositions to be always adopted?
My recommendation is always, so I know when you receive a new project, you have like requirements, you have like specifications, but always ask to see the business case. So why is that important? This is important even from the perspective of even the person running the initiative to understand that this is not just about launching something or launching this initiative. It's all about uh, adding value because this is what we are all doing in a sense. So even this business analysis expertise we are building is to add value to organizations. And you want to understand what are the key metrics. What is it that matters to that organization? So in some cases, some organizations are all about we want to grow revenues. Some others are about we have to cut costs. So you want to understand from a business case perspective what that specific initiative is going to do. Is it going to help reduce cost for the organization? Is it going to help increase revenue? And even if that's what you know, then you want to see how. You want to see how, and then you want to be able to go to your CFO and use those words. Don't say, okay, I'm going to launch this new product. Say, okay, I have this new idea that can increase our top line, our revenue by maybe 1% this month. You want to hear about it? And I know all CFOs are going to be like, yes, of course, I want to hear about it. This initiative is going to cost down by 20 million this year. Of course, they want to hear about this. Or this initiative overall means we get to have our bonus next year. Do you want to hear about this? Yes, of course, they want to hear about this. So this doesn't require you to become an expert in finance, of course, but at least it shows you have the understanding and the sensitivity to know this is what truly matters to the organization, and then you are able to understand that. So always ask to say, okay, can I have your business case? Can I have your case for doing this? And I want to understand what is it you're trying to do.
Okay, Cyril says, thank you for the answer. Does anyone else have a question for Patrick or a contribution? We're also open to that.
I know you guys are usually bold because like, I know like IRBA talks are like very interactive and engaging. So I was scared I would not be able to handle all the engagement. So I'm doing well so far.
You're doing very well, and now you have a packet of questions that have been sent, a whole package. Okay.
That's from
So
William.
William
Okay, this looks
says,
like my exam last year.
William, should I let you
No, go ahead.
should I
From
let you
shy
ask the
people.
question?
From shy people. I received those from shy people.
All right.
Okay, so
So
yes.
question one.
Yeah, one more. So what were the biggest challenges you faced while moving into the financial sector, and how did you overcome them? So there are two. First one is about overcoming your fear of numbers, because there's quite a bit of mathematics involved, and I'm not necessarily from a mathematical background. And then secondly is credibility. So once you've read about finance and you know what this is all about, of course, people are going to want to see some level of credibility to say, hey, why are you even talking about finance now? What do you know about finance? So what I then had to do was very bold, because it meant I had to get out of my comfort zone, was doing the financial modeling and valuation analysis course from the Corporate Finance Institute, which is a heavy modeling, Excel, financial analysis course where it's good because they kind of take you, it's the basics. So the basics is about, okay, the financial statements, but then they go deeper where now you have to build operating model, you have to build M&A models, you have to build leverage buyout models. So they really take you very deep. And by the time you finish, you kind of have a good grounding of what a financial analyst should do. And now the next challenge was to find the kind of job that supports the certification I did. So I added to that the capital, because they also have a capital markets and securities analysis, which is where you learn about the financial markets. And then that's the certification that facilitated my transition into treasury, where I'm now doing treasury sales. Yes, so obtaining those certifications, to your second question, definitely gave me credibility, because I remembered I remember when I had to do a couple of interviews, people were like, oh, okay, we see you've really prepared for those roles you want to embrace, because we see that from your background now, we've seen what you did to kind of have the credibility to even apply for this role. So we appreciate that. So that was really helpful, because people saw I really wanted to get into the finance world because I had those certifications, which meant you had to study at least 3 hours a day, 7 days a week for 6 months, 8 months sometimes. I failed a couple of exams, so I'm not going to say it was the smoothest ride. I failed a couple of exams, but actually a winner is a loser that just tried one more time. And then, I kept coming back, and then I had the certifications, and that's how I was able to gain credibility. So how do you ensure alignment between financial goals and overall business strategy? Any techniques or tools used? So it's really about understanding that, because business strategy, which is a topic that was very fascinating to me a couple of years ago, it's still fascinating, but business strategy is all about the plan you put in place to achieve whatever goal you have at the end of the day. It involves a lot of analysis, but the analysis is all about making sure you achieve whatever goal or plans you had. So many great business strategists like Michael Porter kind of have a strong background in economics and finance, and they literally apply the principles from economic and finance to their business strategy. So if you think of the 5 forces or the value chain analysis, it's a very finance driven model, although it looks like a strategy model, but it's all about finance. So the value chain is all about money moving in, money moving out of a business, and how you make this happen. So it's the Potter's 5 forces model. So the Potter's 5 forces model is really about strategy and it's really about finance. So if you look at the bargaining power of suppliers, of customers, the intensity of rivalry, it's all about money. Who can hold money the longest, who has to release money because they don't have any other choice but to release money. So it's all about finance. So what you need to do is always, from a business strategy perspective, to understand where your business is going from a financial perspective. So kind of look at the 5-year business plan. So the 5-year business plan of any business will have the income statement, we'll have the balance sheets, we'll have the cash flow statement. And once you look at those 3 statements, you get a good idea of where the business is going. So is it a business that is in a growing industry, therefore revenues are growing? Is it a business that is in a mature industry, therefore revenues are going down because maybe the market is saturated? Is it a business that is in a very innovative space, therefore CapEx costs are blowing up because you have to invest a lot in business and development? And once you see those numbers just appear like numbers, but they kind of tell a story about where the business is going, what is the strategy, and how the business is trying to position itself, within its industry. And so what are some common mistakes professionals make when trying to understand the financial world? I think the mistakes is only trying to look at finance from a number perspective. You want to look at finance from a story perspective. So what numbers, what story are the numbers telling? And what do I learn about this business just from looking at those numbers? And it's very interesting how in any financial analysis course you do, I'm actually trying to get the CFA certification. It's really about the principles. So once you understand the principles, all those numbers tell a story. So I could easily come up, or any AI to do today. I know many AI tools where you could input numbers and then they could come up with all the statements you need. But you don't need the statements, you need to understand what's going on. So the mistake you can make is only trying to understand finance from a number perspective and not from a history perspective.
Thank you so much, Patrick.
Thank
My
you,
pleasure. That was tough.
Patrick.
It felt like my exam, like I said last year, and then it's like, yeah.
Now you pass it.
So I think there's
100%.
no, it's all right. I was having a good laugh. So Cyril has a couple of questions. So did you work in a company with the CEO as finance department responsible? Not sure I really get that. Do you mean the CEO was the finance? No, I'm a bit lost with that question. Maybe you need to clarify.
I mean, you are working as maybe a CFO or just someone working in the finance department, and you have a relationship with the COO, with the COO, Chief Operation Officer of the company.
So are you asking if I ever worked with a chief operating officer using my finance experience?
Yes. Or if you didn't have an experience with an CEO, with the CEO or project manager, and what was a bad experience or a good one, and what are the counsel you can give, the advice you can give based on that to any BA?
No, from a finance perspective, when you interact with the CEO or the CEO, which are like key people, key executives, be it as a financial analyst or the business analyst, you always want to have a 2 or 3 story word. So I know when it comes to analysis, you want to tell the whole story, but sometimes the CEO or the CEO don't need the whole story, he just needs the highlights because he's trying to make a quick decision and move on to the next big topic. So I know, like whenever I have to explain to my managing director, like who is my CEO, what we are doing with this client or this transaction. Okay, she wouldn't want me to go into all the details of this customer, how important this transaction is, but she would just want like the key highlights. Okay, this is the issue I have, and if we don't do this, we are losing maybe 2 billion. And she's like, okay, that got my attention. What is it you need to, what is it we need to do? So my advice is keep it short, keep it simple, make it about what truly matters, and stick to the key points, and to every CEO and CEO, the advice, or I mean, to any CEO, to any project manager, the piece of advice is really to understand the basics of finance. So I did say understanding at least how the 3 financial statements work is a good start because they give you a good idea of what the strategy of the business is and where the business is going.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for that. Cyril, you need to tell us who you are. Cyril is asking these questions because he is a COO. So Cyril, please introduce yourself briefly.
A lot of big shots in this space.
Okay, thank you, Florence. I already present myself in the chat.
I think Alet has a raised hand.
Okay, I see that. Thanks, Cyril. Cyril presented himself. Okay, over to you then.
Okay, thank you guys for giving me the floor. So Alex, and actually I work as consultant, like a kind of business analyst in a software engineering company which develop software for banks actually. So my question is actually to know, as you said, as a business analyst, you have to watch over numbers. You have to check some figures, some numbers, like to tell the right story or to interpret it very well so that your COO or your CEO you can catch up his or her attention quickly. I'd like to know actually what's in treasury, as it is your domain. In treasury, can you give some numbers, some KPIs, anything that you have a habit to watch over to have a good story to tell about the situation of the bank? Thank you.
The key number in treasury is liquidity. Are you having excess liquidity, or is your liquidity going down? And if your liquidity is going down, why is it going down? If it's excess liquidity, why do you have excess liquidity? And what do you have to do with that liquidity? You know, if it's in excess, do you need to lend some money to some people? Do you need to put it somewhere so it can generate some return? And if you don't have enough liquidity, then do you have to borrow some money because maybe you don't have enough liquidity? So for us, the language is liquidity. Are we liquid enough to make the business sustainable, or why we're not liquid? You know, so the key thing is really liquidity. So when it comes to key metrics, because as treasury sales, because I'm in charge of FX, I have to be as liquid as I can when it comes to foreign exchange. So I need to make sure, because I have a lot of bank accounts that are in other countries, and my goal is really to make sure those bank accounts have enough euros, enough USDs, enough UK pounds, because by the time I need to execute some deals, I must have that money, because if I don't have that money, then I'm in big trouble, because maybe someone that needs to execute a big transaction in UK pounds doesn't have that currency. So I have to find ways. So do I need to sell some euros to buy some UK pounds? Do I need to sell some USD to buy some UK pounds? And that's what I have to do literally. And then even if I have enough liquidity in FX, if someone needs ZAF, I need to make sure I have enough ZAF. So it's really money being there and moving out or moving into the right direction. For treasury is really is liquidity. That's what they're always going to look at.
Okay. In that extent, please. Like I've understood the thing. But actually, as a business analyst, maybe it's always important to know the target, like to know the objective, so that you can help, like in certain strategies, to grow from a point A to a point B, like where the company really wants to go. So now, as you are checking on the availability of currencies, how do you know that the currencies like have is enough or is lower than expected? Because maybe the company has some action it wants to realize. So now, on what basis do you put yourself to say that, okay, this maybe the quantity of euro is enough or is lower or is maybe higher than expected?
I like the question. I mean, almost sounds like you want to join treasury, but I mean, in a sense, it's all about ratios. So the central bank or the regulator is going to define some key ratios. So for example, they're going to tell you, you must make sure all your foreign currency liquidity is not maybe 5 or 10% of your total cash balance. And therefore, you want to monitor that position. So if my foreign currencies are more than 10% of my cash on the balance sheet, maybe I need to sell some foreign currencies to people who need those. And then if my foreign currencies are less than 3%, maybe I need to buy some currencies. So the way you do that is ratios. So there are a couple of financial ratios, metrics that are set either by your organization or that are set by the regulator that you need to watch, because as soon as you reach or you go over a certain threshold, then from a financial perspective, you might be in trouble. So in as much as I'm looking at my liquidity, I'm also looking at those ratios because I want to make sure I'm within the right ratio so I don't put the bank into trouble. Because when it comes to treasury, you're literally handling the whole cash of the bank. So if you go into a deal and you lose money, in many situations, and some case studies I've seen, you might end up closing the bank because you've lost all the money of the bank. So for that not to happen, there are ratios, there are threshold in place to make sure the money doesn't get lost.
Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot for your answer. I get it.
You're welcome.
And thank
So,
you
very
for
interesting
asking,
question from
Alex.
Alex. So you mentioned finance is all about moving money. Yes. So how do you stay up to date with market fluctuations and financial trends? So maybe what I'm going to say might sound expensive, but early on, what I did when I wanted to get into the world of finance was to buy subscription to the Financial Times. It's quite expensive. I think it costs like £300 a year, but it's like the best publication to understand what's going on in finance all over the world. But I wouldn't want you to spend that much money. So on Google, you have Google Images, you have Google News, but many people don't realize you also have Google Finance. And Google Finance is a section of Google that provides key updates about what's going on in the market or what's happening in the financial, like in the world markets. And then in Africa, okay, there are many resources, but I wouldn't even know where to start because many are so sketchy. But the basic place to start is always like your central bank website. So it might seem boring, but the BEAC website for Cameroon, once you begin to understand how finance works, provides a lot of information about the financial situation of economy. So you can see from there if maybe they are going to devalue the ZAF to the euro. So I know in December there was like panic that, okay, the ZAF is going to be devalued against the euro. But of course, when you looked at the trends, of money in the region, you knew that was not true. That was not going to happen any moment. So to be up to date, first place I would suggest is Google Finance. I'm actually going to type it in the chat, a couple of resources. Then you also want to look at things like Morning Brew. And then if you have the money, or if you want to invest in yourself, let me put it that way. If you want to invest in yourself, then buy up the Financial Times. Actually, I haven't bought my subscription this year because it's so expensive with the dollars going up and it's crazy. But you want to buy the Financial Times as well.
Thanks, Patrick. We have a hand from Aloysius. Aloysius, please go ahead.
Hello, good evening. So, good evening, Patrick. My question is more of an orientation kind of question. How easy do you think it is for somebody who is in customer service heading towards a sales department? How easy do you think it is for them to move towards finance, maybe risk or credit, that kind of thing? Because when you're in the bank, you see that you have a particular trend to which you're going to, especially if you're doing well in that trend. But if you plan to go to a different department, it becomes a bit complicated, considering that finance will usually ask for the finance department and risk and credit. They usually ask for particular levels of experience in those particular departments. Also, there are certain certifications that will usually be required. Which are the certifications that, in your opinion, would make you easily stand out and make it easier to break into the finance department rather than a sales career path?
Okay, I think first of all, beyond looking at the certification is all about, because the certification is only an end goal or an end result. So even when it comes to business analysts, so you don't want to think of it from the perspective of I need to get certification first. So first of all, I think it's about showing interest. So you have to show interest in whatever field or area of the bank you want to join. So that is, you're asking a lot of questions to those people. You want to understand what they're doing. You are trying to network with people from that space because you want to understand what this is all about. Because I'm just saying what I did actually to be in treasury. I mean, certainly then it's really about networking. So you want to make sure those people become your friends and that you get to, I mean, you let them know that you like to be part of their team. If the opportunity comes along, you let them know this is what you want. So that means maybe you have to go out of your comfort zone if you're shy, but is that networking? And then once you've done that, you want to read about the topic. So make sure you read. The good thing is that with internet, you can teach yourself anything. Anything you want to know about anything is available online, bad and good. So you can teach yourself to do something. And then once you've done that, now you can look at certifications. So I think certification is the last thing you want to do. So once you've maybe networked, once you've shown the interest, once you've read about the subject, then you want to go for certification. So like finance, I only started developing an interest like 6 years ago, like in 2019, which seems like a long time ago, but like that's when I began to develop an interest. And I was reading about it, I was learning about it, and it's only like around 2021 that I was like, okay, I'm going to do certification, financial modeling, valuation analysis. I'm going to do something in capital markets. And once you've done the certification, it should not be the end result. You have to keenly look for the opportunity, for the job that is going to make it easier for you to leverage those new skills you have. So it's a mix of networking, it's a mix of showing an interest, it's a mix of a lot of reading, but you also want to get a certification. And then at the end of the day, then you then have the opportunity to make your dream come true. And when it comes to the certifications, there are many, honestly. There are many. So it depends what area of finance you want to go into. Do you want to go into treasury? Do you want to go into credit? If you want to go into credit, there are many interesting courses by Moody's, by Standards and Poor's. They have very interesting certification, very interesting course. If you're more into financial analysis, then you want to try the CFA, the certified, the chartered financial analyst path, where you look into portfolio management. If you're more into valuation analysis and modeling, you can look at the financial modeling and valuation analysis course I did, which is very geared towards modeling. If you're more into the financial markets, then you can look at the capital markets and securities analysis. Anyway, once you start reading about a topic, you're also going to find relevant certifications and diploma you can do about that topic. So it's all about you.
All right, thank you.
Aloysius, would you please tell us briefly who you are?
Well, Aloysius, I'm a customer service. I work in EcoBank, Amanda.
That Aloysius. I think that was like, I'm sure like this Aloysius like sounds familiar, but I wasn't too sure. I was like, okay, maybe it's just like, okay, thank you. Appreciate you being here.
Yes. Yeah.
And I hope you will join the credit department soon.
I hope so.
I see that it's very good when we present ourselves because you never know who might recognize you, right?
I had a doubt. I was
Thanks
like,
for the
is it that
question,
Aloysius or
Aloysius.
someone else? But yeah, I'm glad. Yeah.
All right, so we still have time for a couple more questions. So please feel free to ask your questions or give your contributions.
Maybe some people want to ask their questions in French because I saw. Oh no! Oh, it's William who posted that, not someone. Okay, it's William who.
Yeah, Alex, that's a very good point. If you are more comfortable speaking in French, you can go ahead and ask your question or even give your contribution in French. So Patrick, I just posted on the chat some of the resources that he mentioned earlier. Thanks a lot, Patrick. And yeah, in case there is no other question, we will move ahead. But I'm I really want you to feel free even to put your question on the chat and to connect with Patrick on LinkedIn if you have further questions. Well, there's a hand from Gael, and there's a question from Ayam Kwayim on the chat. Okay. Patrick, do you see Ayam's question? We'll take that first.
Okay, so I have a finance background, but honestly, I still find it so it's difficult to find a specific path as a BA in finance. Any clue or guides? So my question or advice would be, what area of finance are you interested in? I mean, it's literally like saying you have an interest in IT. So IT is no more like a field anymore. I mean, it's so broad. Like there are so many things you could do. So are you into treasury? Are you more into accounting? Are you more into financial planning and analysis? Are you more into portfolio management? Are you more into asset management? So it really depends. So first of all, you don't want to say finance, but maybe you want to be specific about what area of finance you're looking at. And now to find your path, it all depends. So you want to start from the end. So the end is what are those business analysts that work in finance that I really admire? Thank God we have LinkedIn. So early on in my career, like in any domain, I would go on LinkedIn and look up people that I thought had a good career path. And I would simply cheat. So I'll be looking at what exactly they did to become who they are today. So I will look at the schools they went to, the company they worked for, the certifications or the paths they followed, and just try to literally imitate or mirror that. And I hope I'm on track to to become like, one or two of them. But the idea is basically, at the end of the day, can you think of someone that is already doing what you will want to do in the future? And if yes, what is that person doing? What is it that person did to get where they are? And that will give you a clue as to the kind of path you should take to get there. Of course, you want to be unique. The goal is not to be a doppelganger of that person, like you start wearing the same clothes, or no. I mean, the goal is really to, okay, I want to get a sense of what he did, and if I understand what he did, this gives me a sense of what I need to do to get to where he got at one point in his life. Yes, for me, that will be the clue. But the idea is not to tell you what to do, but just to provide pointers as to what you could do to get where you need to get to.
Great. I hope that answers your question. I am Kwayim, and I encourage you to introduce yourself, even if it's just on the chat. So Gael, you
Send me
had
an
your hand
invitation
up
on LinkedIn.
as
I would
well.
love to.
Yeah, you can also do that. Gael, do you still have a question? Gael and Yuswa.
I can see
Hello.
Marguerite has a question as well.
Yeah, good evening
Yes.
to all. Okay.
Yes, good evening, Gael.
Experience. So I have some question. If I'm IT by this one cursus éducatif. Basically, I am IT. From a few years ago, I am working as a business analyst. So if I want to reconvert myself to finance, how to proceed? So what's the steps or the skills or the techniques I have to learn to in 5 years about I can be a senior manager in finance. how to do, how the process, what the techniques, what the so I think you get my point. Okay.
I do, Gael, I do get your point. So what I was going to say is it really depends. So again, finance is very broad. So it depends on what areas of finance you want to join. Because first of all, you want to ask yourself, what is it you like about finance? Or what is it someone said that piqued your interest in finance? Like maybe you were having a conversation, or maybe it's me. I don't know. Maybe I did so. Maybe I said something, and then you were like, "Okay, I need to, I need to join finance." So first of all, you want to understand your motivations behind wanting to join finance. Second of all, second, you want to identify which specific area of finance you're interested in. So is it more of financial planning? Is it more of treasury? Is it more of accounting? Is it more of portfolio management or something in the capital markets? But if you're looking at it in terms of being a senior manager in finance, then I think you're looking at it from joining a finance department. And interestingly, I've known of a lot of IT that became successful finance manager. And this is because they already had the kind of analysis capabilities that then made it easier for them to understand finance. So my advice would be maybe you want to read a bit more about finance. Thankfully, there are many resources you can find on internet to understand more about finance. And once you've read up about finance, maybe if you're really serious about joining finance, then you want to go for a top certification. So the top certification, if you're into accounting, maybe you want to do an ACCA course, which is a bit long, but then it gives you the credibility to become, I don't know, a CFO or a certified CPA, which is all about certified something in accounting, because I know about more the CFA, which is certified a chartered financial analyst. Or you want to do something light, like the financial modeling and valuation analysis. And once you've done the certification, my advice is to immediately try and get a job in that specific area. So you're not going to be hired as a financial or as a senior finance manager, of course not, because you need experience. But if you start as a finance officer, it's not a bad thing, because since you've shown so much interest and you're showing potential, I wouldn't be surprised if you join as a finance officer, that 5, 6, or 7 years you become a senior finance manager. Because once you're in, it's all about showing interest. It's all about showing leadership capability. It's all about humility, like that willingness to learn. And then when that comes into play and you're growing into the role, you're learning new things, you're building confidence, very often you end up becoming the CFO, who is the top finance person in many organizations. So I totally see you becoming a CFO in a couple of years. I wouldn't be surprised if you keep the same interest and perspective.
Okay, thank you.
Gael, your future is bright.
Okay.
Okay, thanks, Patrick. I hope that answered your question well, Gael. Go next to Marguerite. Marguerite,
Yes,
please go
good.
ahead.
Yes, good evening, all of you. Good evening. Yes, please, I still have a question in my mind. I like to exactly know how the business analysis help us. I don't know if the business analysis is mostly working in dashboard, uh, modeling, or maybe change my habit, how I used to do. I'm trying just to understand. It will help me to improve my analysis way. Then, I will continue in French. Then, je veux comprendre un peu où le business analysis peut vraiment impacter sur mon comportement en tant que financier Est-ce que c'est à travers les tableaux de bord qui sont montés ou bien ça réagit plus au niveau des process, du changement des process d'organisation ou autour des habitudes? Donc, ça nous donne d'autres habitudes dans comment est-ce que nous interagissons dans notre activité financière. Moi, j'ai encore un peu des incompréhensions là-dessus. Ça m'intéresse bien, mais je veux bien comprendre euh, le, les fondés du business analysis, quoi.
That's a good question for you, Florence.
Okay, I will answer a little bit in English, then I will let William answer in French. Okay, so a business analyst or business analysis essentially helps bring clarity to situations. There are different tools and techniques that a business analyst uses, including dashboards for visualizing information. However, where the greatest value of the business analyst is in their ability to collaborate with stakeholders so that everyone can come to a clear understanding of what is the current situation at hand, where we want to go. So what is our vision? What are our objectives? And also, how do we go from where we are to where we want to go? So what are the solutions that we can use to address the needs or the requirements at hand? Those are the most fundamental skills that a business analyst needs in order to be successful. So that is independent of which techniques you use. The real value comes from being able to bring clarity in these situations and collaborate with stakeholders so that everyone comes to the same understanding to go from where we are to where we want to go next. So, William, please help me complete the response in French so to make sure that Marguerite has understood.
Avec plaisir. Donc, ça va dépendre à quel niveau de l'organisation tu travailles. Est-ce que tu travailles dans les opérations? Est-ce que tu travailles au niveau de tout ce qui va toucher au processus? Est-ce que tu travailles dans les projets, dans le support? Donc, en fonction de où tu es, hein, dans la gouvernance, dans le support, dans l'IT, les tâches seront différentes. Maintenant, de manière générale, hein, quand tu vas organiser des meetings ou participer à des meetings pour comprendre un besoin, pour ensuite essayer d'expliquer, hein, de mieux expliquer ce besoin, de rédiger un cahier de charges, hein, de rédiger des spécifications, là, tu es en train d'utiliser donc des techniques de la business analyse. Pareil, quand il faut modéliser un processus, identifier comment est-ce que je peux optimiser ce processus, montrer des points d'amélioration du processus, redessiner le processus, etc., pour de l'aide à la décision. Là encore, tu es en train de faire de la business analyse. De même dans les projets, quand tu vas accompagner le chef de projet dans la rédaction du cahier de charges, échanger avec les différentes parties prenantes qui seront impactées par le projet, tu seras encore en train de faire business analyse. Et dans la banque, dans la finance, voilà, il y a aider avec les changements de la réglementation, il y a aider back-office, front-office, donc, et aussi la transformation digitale où il faut donc aider à comment passer du traditionnel au digital. Donc là encore, donc ça va vraiment des outils. Donc il y a l'état d'esprit et ensuite il y a les outils pour, selon ce que tu fais, permettre que les choses se fassent bien, quoi. Je sais pas si ça répond un peu mieux à la question.
Non, merci beaucoup, ça répond vraiment. Ça répond, merci. J'ai les éléments de réponse. Thank you, I got my answer. Thank you, Tim.
You're welcome.
And thank you, Marguerite, for asking the question. Okay, we have a question too from William Tessa. I'd like to know if the BA certification is really an asset when you seek for a job. Are there really organizations in Cameroon which recognize it directly? My answer to that is yes. When you have certification, you are showing that you are competent in business analysis. The business analysis certifications are designed in such a way that either they prove that you have the required knowledge of business analysis, like with the entry-level ECBA, or they prove that in addition to your knowledge, you have experience and you know how to apply the best practice and the standards when you are working as a business analyst. Like that's in the case of the CBAP. So yes, they will definitely distinguish your profile when you're applying for a job, and companies recognize it because I have seen job descriptions where they ask, they say it's an advantage if you have a certification like CBAP. So I would encourage you, William, and everyone else to go for a certification if you want to really distinguish yourself in the job market. All right. Is there any last question?
I think Marguerite had a question. I don't know if we heard from her, but she...
Yeah, that was the last question that was asked
This was Marguerite. This
verbally.
was Marguerite who spoke about
This
how.
was
So
Marguerite,
yes,
yes.
good, excellent.
And Marguerite, you didn't present yourself. Please tell us who you are.
Okay. Thank you. I'm Marguerite Mafupanjuchu. I'm working at Eneo now as a head of accounting, account receivable division. Then I have more than 18-year experiences, then 14 in finance, here in Cameroon and abroad also. Then
I mean, if you're working in the account receivable department of Eneo, you're deeply in finance. This is
yes, I'm deeply in finance.
It's a good example of someone that is so deeply in finance.
Yes, I'm deeply in finance. I have more than 14 years in finance in different sectors, industrial
Congratulations.
and commercial sectors. Thank you. Then I'm really interested about the business analysis because it's I think that is the way, the new way where we have to follow. Then when my colleague shared to me this link, Emma, then I just, okay, I have to get connected and seriously know about the business analysis. Because the accounting, what we are doing now, I think it's becoming like old. We have to bring a new way how to work.
Mm.
Yes, and
Totally agree. Totally agree.
yes, it's looking old. Then you have to shift to go in the new new life of accounting. Then really I'm appreciate and you answer of my question. Because sometimes you have a lot of high education, like I have a MBA and master, also 2 master, but I was saying that what business analysis can bring to me more than what I have already. Sorry if I do some mistake in English here because I'm really French speaker.
It's very
No,
good,
no, please go
actually.
ahead. You're very good.
Then I was saying that, okay, with all my experience and all my background, where how business analysis can help me to improve? What is the added value that the business analysis will bring to me? But I think that from the answer you give to me, I feel more comfortable. Then I will see if I come and join you guys.
We'll be very
You're
happy to
welcome.
have you. Yes, with all your
Definitely.
experience, I think we'll be
Mhm.
very happy to have you join us. There'll be a lot we can learn from you, and I think that you will also enjoy getting to know more about business analysis. Thank you, Marguerite.
Thank you to you also. Thank you.
All right, looking at the time, I'm going to close this Q&A part, and thanks to everyone who asked their questions or contributed some comments, even on the chat. and I would like us to move to our quiz. However, I would ask you all to please join us in a group photo to commemorate our event before we move to the last part. And for this, please open your cameras if you're comfortable to do so. No, you don't need to go and do extra makeup. We like you as you are. So please, if you're comfortable, open your camera so that we can take a group photo before we move to the last part. Thank you. If you feel like coming on, it's good to put faces to the names.
Indeed.
Definitely. Awesome.
So William, are you taking the photo?
Yes, now, ready? You can smile. Spaghetti or cheese.
Okay, cheese.
Okay, it's done. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you to all of you who decided to show your faces, and we've taken the picture. Thank you so much. All right. We will move to our the last part of our event tonight, which is the quiz. Let me come back to show you my PowerPoint. Okay, I hope you can see my screen. I'm showing you the prizes that you're going to win for being attentive during this event. Let me explain. We'll have 4 questions. The rules are very simple. The first person who gets the answer correct will win. The first person who gets the answer correct will win. So you have to be correct and you have to be fast. Preferably write your answer on the chat so we can clearly see who got the answer correct. But you can also open your mic very quickly and shout out the answer. But it has to be correct. So those are the rules. And if you get an answer correct first, you will have one of these prizes. I'm going to ask 4 questions, and each of these questions has 1 prize allocated. So the first one is a 10% discount to our study groups in English and French online. The second is a 10% discount to a study group in person on site in Douala. The third is a 10% discount to a BAMeetUp on site. So we have one coming up on the 6th of February. And finally, the fourth prize is you will have free access to a BA skill level assessment. Right. I hope you are ready. Okay, I hope that you've warmed up. Here is my first question. What was Patrick's major in university?
Communication.
That's a question
Okay,
about, it's a question about me. I didn't realize.
University of Boya.
of course.
All right. That's never happened before.
All
So
right. Yes, Patrick studied at the University of Boya. His major in university was journalism and mass communication. So some said journalism, some said communication. The first person who said journalism is the winner. So congratulations to Aristide Dawai, my former colleague, who I'm very happy to see here. because you won the first prize. I need to specify the prizes will be allocated to you later on, and you can, if you want, transfer these prizes to someone else. So it's quite flexible. Congratulations to Aristide Dawai. Okay, so those who were observing, I hope you've seen how the game works. You have to be fast and you have to be correct. Second question, how did Patrick describe finance? He described it in very simple words. How did he describe what finance is, basic?
Finance is all about the movement of money. Thank you.
People were really paying attention, and Patrick made it so memorable that we have many people who got the answer right. But I think the person who got it first was Edmond. It's all about the movement of money. So congratulations, Edmond Neba. You got the second prize. To the others, please try again. All right. Next question. This is a true or false. Patrick said BAs of the future will have to be technologists. Is this true or false?
True.
The BAs of the future will have to be technologists.
True.
It's mandatory.
Oh, that's true now.
Patrick, did you say the BAs of the future must be technologists? That
No,
is the
actually, no.
question.
They,
True
they
or
they don't have to
false?
be technologists. So, what I did say is that as a BA, you are at the intersection of so many bridges, including technology, but that doesn't necessarily mean you have to be an expert in technology. So you can come from any background and still become like a successful business analyst. I think what you'll need is the ability to drive change, the ability to communicate well, the ability to bring people together, and the ability to just get things done. And even if you are in technology or any other field, of course, your skills are going to be required.
Thanks, Patrick. Now I see a couple of answers false. However, I don't know if these answers were sent before you give the correct answer or after. It's tricky. So let's consider that question as cadeau. Nobody wins and we all win. I'll ask the next one. So Patrick was asked, what are some of the fears he had to overcome while moving into the finance sector? Can you name one of those fears? He said he had to overcome the fear of. We have only 2 people who have tried this. This is interesting. We have a tie. Yes, Patrick did say that we should not be afraid. Finance is not only about mathematics. That's true, but that's not the fear he had to overcome. Koneke Landren said figures. Aloysius said numbers. These are synonyms. However, Aloysius is more accurate because Patrick said exactly the fear of numbers. So Aloysius wins this one. Or Patrick, as the judge, what do you think?
No,
Landrin was first, Aloysius was second, but he said numbers.
It's for mathematics figures, yes, but like the numbers are intimidating because you're trying to understand how they fit into the big picture, and because financial statements are made up of so many numbers, it's easy to get overwhelmed by just the sight of those numbers. So yes, that's the thing that easily scares you. Of course, close to that, yes, mathematics, because now when you have to add, divide, subtract, and then multiply, and sometimes do all of these together at the same time, yes, that gets scary. But yes, numbers is definitely the first thing.
Great. Aloysius is already celebrating his victory, so there's no going back to renegotiate. So congratulations, Aloysius, you won the third prize. You got it more accurately than Landrin. Final question, final chance to win something. There's a quote, there's something that Patrick said, which I just had to keep for myself. He said, "A winner is a loser that..." Who can complete the sentence?
Yeah, I mean, some guys were really following. Like, I'm so impressed.
We have here 2 tries again. Aloysius was very fast. He says, tries one more time. Tried one more time. Koneke Landren said, someone, a winner is a loser who fails. And Brice Abanda said, a winner is a loser who keeps trying. Okay. Now we have a situation where someone needs to be generous. Someone needs to be generous and let go of his second prize, because yes, Aloysius, you won. You won hands down, and you're even more accurate. However, you already won 1 prize. So the next correct person, who is Brice Abanda, will win this one. Thank you for your generosity, Aloysius. Congratulations to Brice Abanda, who said, a winner is a loser that keeps trying, or who tries that one more time and got it right. Congratulations, Brice. So that was our last question and our last winner. Thank you to all of you who played the game. So let me broadcast once more what the prizes are. Aristide, you won a 10% discount to a study group. Edmond Neba, you won 10% discount to a study group, this time in person. Aloysius, you won a 10% discount to the BA meetup on site coming up. And Brice Abanda, you won the free access to the BA skill assessment. Congratulations to all of you, and thank you for playing the game. We've already done our group photo. I would like to round up this event. I'm really appreciating you all who participated and who made it such a good experience. With a big thank you to Patrick as well for giving his time and sharing his experience and his insights. Before we separate, I want to let you know there is a survey. As soon as you leave the call, you'll receive a survey on your screen. It's only 2 minutes. So if you can fill that a survey. We'd really appreciate your feedback to keep improving these events. With that, I will close the session, thanking you all and wishing you all an amazing weekend. For those who want to stay in the call and linger a little bit, feel free to do so that we can have some informal networking. We really love to have you here. And for those who want to leave, have an amazing weekend and thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you to everyone.
Okay.
And thank you so much, Patrick.
Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Patrick. Thank you,
much.
I want to
Florence.
get
Thank
into
you,
finance
William.
now.
Thank you, Florence.
Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Florence Ndum.
Thank you,
Keep
Edmond.
doing
Thank
the
you for
good job.
coming.
Thank you,
Really appreciate it.
William.
You're welcome.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Appreciate having you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, President. Thank you, Florence.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And those who want to stay and hang out with us, we're happy to have you. So who else is in the finance space here? We had Marguerite, we have Patrick, we had Aloysius from EcoBank. Who else is coming from finance?
Me, I am.
Oh, I am. Okay. I think you must have presented yourself somewhere in the chat, but please tell us what you do.
All right. Thank you very much, Florence. So I'm a business planning specialist. Globally making sure that entrepreneurs companies or business ideas before being executed follow some guidelines. Making sure that the environment they want to operate actually suits the kind of business they are shooting for, and then as well as every strategy for implementation and development. Also attached to my investment analysis responsibilities that I do have, plus the skills, making sure that every single investment worth every single dollar, franc, CFA that needs to be invested basically in Cameroon. But now in my position as a head of finance at Impact Hub, I am in charge of coordinating trainings as well as preparation for with female entrepreneurs in Africa. All over Africa, northern, northeast, south, and west, Central Africa too, and making sure that they are ready for any funding opportunity, being grants, being equity, or as well as loans. So globally, those are my daily hot pot. Today I spanning 13 years experience in the field, having worked in a microfinance, in a bank. That was BGFE Cameroon, Douala. And then also had some business analysis, or let me say data analysis at Jumia Cameroon before the shut up in 2019. So globally does that for thank you.
Wow, another person with rich experience in finance. That's amazing. I hope you guys are open to connect on LinkedIn, because I will be connecting with some of you on LinkedIn after this. Oh, welcome Doris Oben Agboro. Yeah, it's unfortunate that you could only join at the end, but yes, you will be able to watch the recording later. Thank you for joining though. All right, so IAM is a CFO, which Cyril was giving some very interesting comments about earlier. And so, Cyril, I'm sure you would like to connect with IAM as well and get that perspective of a CFO. I hope I'm correct, IAM, when I say you're a CFO, because you said you're a head of finance.
Yeah, I mean, head of CEO, I wouldn't call it like that. More or like, but like finance manager ensuring all compliances in the finance department.
Oh,
and guiding the team. So, but definitely I do perform CFO tasks too. Yeah.
okay. All right. Thanks, IAM. So for everyone else, I'm curious, what industries are you coming from? Even what countries? Because I see some names here which may not be Cameroonian. I'm quite curious to know where you're joining us from. What is your industry if you're not in the finance space, or what is your current role? Please feel free to share.
My name is Edmund. I'm Bineba. I am
Oh no, unfortunately, I cannot hear Edmond anymore. I don't know if it's just on my side.
No, even me, I cannot get it more anymore.
Or network. Okay, we hope that he will come back. How about you, Doris? Where are you joining us from?
Please, can I just ask a little question? Because
Yes.
I just stumbled upon this meeting on LinkedIn. I was just scrolling LinkedIn the other day and I just stumbled on it. Actually, what pulled me to this meeting was that I saw Patrick's name and I know that he and I work in the same institution. So I was just curious to see what it was about. Can I please understand what IIBA Cameroon is all about?
Oh, I see that you joined probably after we had introduced IIBA Cameroon. The IIBA, first of all, stands for the International Institute of Business Analysis, and that is an organization for business analysis professionals, and it exists to promote the profession and to keep on improving the profession while supporting organizations to do their jobs better. So IIBA Cameroon is one of the chapters of IIBA Global. We've been in existence since 2021, and we call ourselves the advocates of business analysis in Cameroon. So everything that we do is to help business analysis in Cameroon to grow. We help the professionals to grow, to become better, to become certified. We help to connect them with each other like we are doing in this event. And yeah, that's essentially what we do. You're welcome to join our events, continue to join our events online if you're curious about the profession. These ones are always free, the after work online. We have in-person events as well. So the BAMeetUp has two formats, this online format and the physical format. So you can also come and join us in Douala when we have the physical event, like the next one happening on the 6th of February. Follow us on LinkedIn and you will see all the different kinds of events that we offer. But I hope that answers your question to some extent.
No, it does. It does completely, actually. I'll be sure to follow and see how it's going.
Okay, great. Okay, great. All right. So we have Marcel Bagidi Alia and Amadou Oseni Jurgen Mama. I'm sorry if I pronounce your name wrong, but I'm just really curious where you guys are from, if you don't mind sharing. Maybe they cannot hear me. Okay, that's okay. Doris said she's joining us from Limbe, Cameroon. Okay, that's nice. I actually met Doris in Limbe a couple of weeks ago. So nice to see you here, Doris. So does anyone else want to tell us a little bit about themselves and what they do, where they're joining from? This is a networking space, so please feel free.
Hello, Florence. Please, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry to bring you back. I know I asked a question earlier, and because I just didn't want it to make it very lengthy, while I was trying to figure out which branch or which aspect of business analyst. It's true. In my day, I mean, when you get the business analyst definition, right, from my daily task, I do consider I do perform one of these, but I really want to specialize on something, one particular aspect, and I've really been interested in product development, and product management, because for the home industry, entrepreneurs, the experience that I have with working with countless numbers of entrepreneurs, there is an issue on, on the kind of products we do, they do offer, or do produce in the market. So I'm still trying to consider how being the business analyst, or how to call it, to a certification that's going to open up to that market, to solve or to bring all my skills in resolving problems of in that sector. So also I say that it was quite blurry trying to navigate and see with my business, with my finance background, how do I accommodate to that.
Yeah, this is quite interesting. We have a certification called, I think, certified product owner. So there's such a thing among the IIBA certifications. So business analysts certifying themselves as product owners to have that specific skill. Although product ownership is a role in product development in a broader sense. But maybe this is something you could be interested in. Otherwise, when I think about it more broadly, the specialization itself comes from you, where you find yourself working, because the skill set, if I just from my experience, the skill set that you gain as a business analyst, the techniques, because we have over 50 techniques in the BABOK, and some of them are more suitable for product context and product development context. You can apply them in that context. So with your skill as a business analyst, or with your certification, even as a business analysis professional, CBAP, you can work very well in the product development space. So you just need to find yourself there. But if you want to be a product owner, certify yourself as a product owner, there is such a certification. I think certified product owner something. I forgot the last word.
Okay, thank you very much, Florence. I think it's much more clearer now, and I'll be researching around that, and
yes,
see how I can actually get a CBAP, and then do some more, gain some more experience applying all the techniques as a BA, then probably shooting for the product owner certification. Thank you very much, Florence. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. And please keep in touch in case you want to really take that journey for the CBAP. We are soon starting a certification study group in English, if that's your preferred language. So yeah, definitely let us know if you want to take that journey. We are ready for you.
Yeah, Florence. Actually, I was part of the last batch of the study group, but honestly, I wasn't very. I'm not sure I completed all the sessions because of the nature of my work. So I think this time around, I want to more or less get organized to really gain space and do that investment in terms of time to really fulfill and get prepare for the CBAP.
Okay. All right. Good luck with that. You can do it.
Thank you very much. I know Mr. President actually advised to go for the ACBA, but since I'm someone who always shoot for the best, as I say, no, let me take time. Let me take time to prepare for the CBAP rather than just go for the ACBA.
Okay. Yes, so please let us know when you do the exam and succeed. Actually, we will know because we keep track.
Definitely. Thank you very much.
Okay, Marguerite is asking when the next session for preparation for the CBAP will be. Let me just show you my slides again briefly. So I hope you can see my slides. We have sessions in English and in French, in person and online. So for the English group, it starts on the 4th of February. I know you are more comfortable in French. Sorry, so the French groups are English or French, okay. French online and in person kicks off on the 4th of February. This information is available on the IBA LinkedIn page where you can actually register. The English one is the very next day, so 5th of February. And yeah, these are the two, well, there are actually 3 groups about to start. So French in person and online, English online.
Okay, Florence, thank you for sharing. Please, what is the time for preparation? Is taking how many time for preparation? It depend of everyone on, or is a fixed time?
To prepare for the certification?
Yes.
Okay,
If I want to take it online.
If you want to take it?
Online.
Online. Yes, so each one of them lasts for 3 months. So whether online or in person, if you're taking it online, yes, it will be 13 weeks, which is 3 months, approximately 3 months. So that is for us to go through the content to prepare you for the certification. If you feel ready at the end of those 3 months, you can directly go for the exam. So that means your preparation period will be 3 months. If not, you have the flexibility to choose when to do your exam. So after the 3 months, you are the one who will schedule your own exam date. So if you feel that, oh, well, I've done all these sessions, but I think that I need 1 more month just to consolidate and make sure I'm ready, you can do that after 1 month. You can do that after 2 months. It's really up to you. But I would say the minimum is 3 months.
Okay, thank you, Florence. Thank you. And it's taking how many hours per week?
3 hours.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So one session a week
Online
Each
one
session
is
is 3 hours.
okay. It's night time or in the day during the day because as we are workers, I don't know when the session is taking place in the night or what is the timing?
It's in the evening because we know that people are working. Our students are always workers. So, like you see here, tous les mardis 19h à 22h. Same thing for the English study group from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Okay. As I'm on the phone, I didn't read very. Okay. Thank
I
you.
see. Okay. Yes. So feel free to get in touch on the LinkedIn page or with William or with myself if you want to register. But I'll recommend that you attend because the first session is the information session where they'll tell you everything about the study group and how it will be conducted, what will be the contents, what will be the course, everything in this information session on the 4th of February. So for the French one, 4th of February, for the English one, 5th of February.
Okay, Florence. Okay. And will you share the link to be connected, or how will you do to get connected?
Okay,
Or we
so
have to
are you
get
following the LinkedIn page?
Yes, I have a LinkedIn address.
Okay, do you follow IIBA on LinkedIn?
No, not yet.
Okay, no worries. After this session, we will send an email to everyone who participated, and the links to these events will be there
Okay,
in that
thank you.
email.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Welcome. Let me stop sharing. Does anyone else have a question or something to share? Maybe what your plans are for the weekend? Yeah, because the night is young, eh? La nuit ne fait que commencer. There
Right,
are
you are
plans.
right. Okay, from my side, no, nothing to share again. Just I'm just excited to discover what is BA analysis in the main heart of BA analysis, really.
All right. Yeah, we hope that you'll attend that information session. I think it will give you a lot of insight.
Okay, sure, I will, sure.
Great. Hello, Cyril.
Hello, I'm just in office to finish something. So I was following the meeting.
Okay.
I don't have so much to say, but I was so in that I was happy for the answers of financiers concerning how to to get to get more from them for projects and innovation that we can do. And it is so that in my position of CEO where I am, I can understand more also the pressure they can have before the CEO and the funders and so on. But it is good work for the company. So for me, I'm trying now, if I can talk about me, I have a desire to do my CBAP quickly as I can. It is an objective for me in 2025. I'm really looking forward to take a step how do we say it in the membership in EABA, in EABA chapter of Cameroon, step or to bring help like I see Florence and so on, Lucille and others doing. But I need first to focus on my certificate first. So, but I like the work that is done, and I'm happy to every time there's an opportunity of after work. I still waiting for the after work on site in Yaoundé. That's my desire. Because in Douala it's not easy. I'm based in Yaoundé. I'm at Cité I'm at Cité and I'm looking forward for businesses opportunities also. As I'm a CEO, we are doing develop solution in technologies. So software solutions. We have the EAP, Odoo. That is the one we use to for now we have solutions to manage schools. We have solutions to for the pay. We have a solution where we pay as you work. So meaning that for startup and people who have they are have startups and that they know finances are strong for them. It is also a good manner to have a disciplined personnel so that they know that okay, if I'm not at work, it will be I accept that I will not be paid for that moment. So no one can cheat, because if in the system you don't mark your presence, when you are going to pay to calculate the pay lists at the end of the month, you check on it. So it is a good manner to help also to discipline also the colleagues to be early. When you come late, you already know what will happen. If it is just 5 minutes, your payment at the end of the month will take care of that. So it is a manner to discipline and make people responsible using technologies. So with the AAP Odoo, for example, so that is one thing, and there are many things that we are doing. Business analysis are our daily. For me, for example, it is our daily usage. It is true that in Cameroon, what I notice is that many times, even founders or CEOs sometimes, many founders sometimes or CEO, sometimes they don't really know that, how can I say, that work of business analyst. They put the different work and activities that require business analysis skills. They call it sometimes in other names. For me, I have many things I do that require business analysis, and if you don't have business acumen, it is strong. It will be difficult for you. So it is for me. So I'm open to opportunities of affairs and opportunities of business, and I'm also a PMP certified since December 2020, and it is true that I trained people in PMP, but since 2023, I chose to focus on new jobs that I got, first in project management and this one in CEO, because that certification opened door to me. And I'm not a one who like to have just diploma for diploma or certificate for certificate. I like to master the skills so that I can speak and help more and bring value in everything I do with excellence according to the standards. So it is the same challenge I need with business analyst, because I noticed that when I was project manager in a fintech, because I work in a fintech, Ifipe, that is the name, and there was solution that we were developing for managing money, transaction, and so on. And I worked on a project for a company in France before leaving that place and come where I am now. And I noticed that many times we call people project manager, but in fact, behind the scene, the founder, the CEO, in fact, the real work first, that is the main need they are calling you to do is to do business analysis. That is how I discovered business analysis online. And after by linking, William and I, we connect, and when I noticed the information in 2040 of the training, the group of study. So I did the group of study. But I did it and wanting to certify myself, but another opportunity come and catch me, and it was new for me because the CEO role is new for me. So it's a new challenge. I'm learning, and you know the kind of pressure you have to learn fast and do quick. I use the same word, but to express the fact that the pressure is there all the day, all the time. The boss want quickly to steal his startup, new business, going fast and having this. And sometimes we need also a culture in our companies in PME, in startup, a culture of patience when you invest. I don't know how financiers manage that situation and timing. I don't know how they coach and counsel the CEO and founders and how they do because what I see is that sometimes when a founder can have pressure of gaining quickly, sometimes the risk is that you can destroy even the potential you have to build them and to reach your target in some years. So it is anyway, I will stay there, and that's what I can share and say. I'm open, and thank you for the opportunity to know each other. Thank you, Florence.
Thank you, Cyril. I think your business model is quite interesting. I mean, the way that you work with that this pay as work, pay get paid as you work, something like that. That's quite interesting. I would love to know more about that. Maybe I'll get in touch with you to understand more about your business.
Okay, no problem. With pleasure, I will do it.
It would be good for you to connect with Marguerite as well to get more of a finance and experienced finance perspective. Hello, Carlos. Hello, Marcel. Okay. If nobody wants to add anything or share anything, I think we'll stop the informal networking here. But I would love to keep in touch on LinkedIn. Please feel free to find me on LinkedIn, Florence Ndum, and connect. I'm always glad to connect with people. I'll also connect with you guys who attended because you have such rich perspectives and experiences. I'd love to stay in touch. Okay, then I wish you all. Sorry?
No, I said definitely I will connect with you on LinkedIn.
Okay, great.
I mean, like now.
Okay, now I'll be waiting to see the notification and accept. All right, then have a very nice Friday and a nice weekend. And thanks again for joining and for staying the extra time to chat.
Okay, thank you, Florence. Nice weekend.
Thank you very much, Florence.
Nice
Sorry,
weekend.
I get disconnected for a few minutes because I have to follow another subject. Sorry. Thank you,
Yes.
Florence.
Problem.
I need to go back home and rest.
Yes,
Nice
please
weekend
go
to all of
home.
you. Thank you.
Work-life balance, work-life balance.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.